When you look at most enterprises as of today, right, sovereignty is defined more of a data availability or data control.
That's right.
But sovereignty is a large spectrum. Coredge is primarily a sovereign cloud and AI platform company.
One message you would like to give to today's entrepreneur, innovators?
Ownership changes your perspective. AI infrastructure is not standalone. You are not buying technology for today.
Right.
You are building cloud for future. You need to have something new in your hand. Adopt to the open standards. Build for India, build for world. You still need the general purpose applications and general purpose cloud. You want to build something on top? Go ahead and do it. Look at how the cloud and IT infrastructure can help.
If you could change one thing about the India's technological ecosystem today, what would that be? Hello everyone to another episode of Beyond the Boardroom by Veloxx Media, where India's most influential leaders share their experiences, insights, and vision for the future. Today, we are joined by a visionary leader who's driving innovation through technology and product thinking. Ashok Kumar, co-founder and Chief Product Officer at Coredge, brings a deep understanding of product innovation, digital transformation, and building scalable solutions. With a strong focus on customer-centric design and cutting-edge technology, he has been instrumental in shaping Coredge's growth and vision. In this conversation, we'll explore his journey, the ideas behind Coredge, and his insights on building impactful products in today's evolving digital landscape. Please join me in welcoming Ashok Kumar. Ashok, welcome to the podcast, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for hosting us. Yeah.
Likewise. Now, looking forward, to this very interesting discussion in this space. I know we have been connecting, we have been working together on this particular space for a while now. You were there with us at the PSU Manthan as well. But I think we want to use this platform to understand your perspective, your journey a bit more into how you were able to actually conceptualize Coredge, and then what are your, let's say, future goals, and where do you see Coredge going from here, right? So let's quickly start the discussion. But Ashok, before we talk about the Coredge and the technology, I'd love to start with the person behind the professional, right? So looking back at your journey, what are some defining moments that shaped you as a leader, as the innovator that you are today?
Sure. So Mohit, when you talk about entrepreneurship, my understanding is that people are not built in one day, right? It's a long journey, and it starts from our childhood, because I would say I'm coming from a family of entrepreneurships, right?
Brilliant.
Whether it's a small business or large business, that doesn't matter. What matters is the value, right, that you are learning out of these entrepreneurships. So, majority part of it goes to my father, right? And then myself have been doing certain experimentations around it as well, as part of my teenage career, I would say, right? And then we moved into enterprises, large enterprises primarily, right? Because that is where I started my career into, working at large enterprises, developing various kind of applications at different scale levels, right? However, because coming from a family, and then you understand that you always have something within you where you say things are not right.
Okay.
And you always have some, itch or an insider voice, I would say, right, which is saying you need to do something else. Though it's not a easy job, right? Because jumping from a monthly paying salaries to something altogether, that's a very challenging thing.
That's
right?
the biggest drug in the world.
It is. It gives you kick, but at the same time you may not get your pockets full, right?
Correct. That's correct.
So it's full of energies, but not full of the money in the initial stages, I would say, right? But once you are there, right? Once you start doing things which you love, right? That changes your perspective, because that drives the way you look at these things, right? When you're building or you own it, that ownership changes your perspective,
100%.
and you start feeling that passion in the things that you love to do. That is where we also started, right? I've been doing with enterprises. I've been working for enterprises almost 15 years, but then last 10 years or so, we saw that especially in the cloud background, because I myself came from application architecture, and then moved into end-to-end stack, where we looked at the infrastructure. And in the last large enterprise where we're working, right, was trying to do more and more on open standards, look at how the cloud and IT infrastructure can help. And interestingly, at the same time, OpenStack was also born during that time itself. And I saw an opportunity, right? Why not help enterprises
Right.
choose which OpenStack or which cloud they can start, especially on the telco side where people are the adoption is really slow, and we thought we can help them to adopt to these open standards, and that is where our first startup was born. Uh, it was more on the testing or helping out our customers how they can identify which flavor of cloud, or what whether their SLAs can be met or delivered by their own private cloud.
Okay.
And then we saw a larger opportunity where we saw that, okay, testing validation is one part of it, but at the same time, you have a huge gap where most of these infrastructure or the platform ownership is coming from various different OEMs across the world,
That's
right?
right.
You don't have anybody who can sit together with you and build it for you. And that is where Coredge were born, with an idea that we can start something in India, for India, by Indians.
Fine. Yeah. Excellent. Interesting journey as well. But
Sure.
yeah, I'd like to pick up on that. So Coredge has now emerged as one of India's leading sovereign cloud and AI infrastructure companies, right? Now, for those hearing about, let's say, Coredge for the first time, let's take it like that a lot of audiences, they're
Yeah.
hearing it about the company first time. How would you describe the company's mission and what really differentiates Coredge in this market?
Yeah, sure. So, for the people who are listening to us for the first time, right, Coredge is primarily a sovereign cloud and AI platform company. Right? And when I say sovereign cloud and AI platform company, it is built in India, controlled in India, and you have the full ownership and visibility inside what are the things which you are deploying in your infrastructure. When you look at most enterprises as of today, right, sovereignty is defined more of a data availability or data control.
That's right.
But sovereignty is a large spectrum. We need to understand from multiple layers and multiple folds as well, right? Be it, data infrastructure is one thing, but then who owns the technology?
Correct.
And who owns the platform availability, right? If there is an issue at 2 a.m. in your data center, will you have the engineers sitting next to you who can help you out?
That's right.
Or are you dependent on somebody else? In the current scenarios, if you look at the current geopolitical issues happening right across the globe, the sovereignty demand has been growing a lot.
Correct.
This is because now people understand data is only one piece of it. If you can't control the technology over it, if you can't control the your data center end to end,
End to end.
layer by layer,
Yes.
then you may not have the complete sovereign cloud
It's always
available
shared
for you.
dependency.
Yes. And that is where Coredge is coming into picture, helping build you that sovereign cloud end to end within your data center in a complete isolated environment, right? And you can even have the visibility into our systems, our engineering, right? Sit together, build with you if things are not working out, right? Because you cannot drive a product roadmap of large enterprises which are sitting outside country. But here we are next to you. We can work out together with you.
Excellent. Now, digital sovereignty is something which I'm sure that is very much centric to your mission, Coredge's mission,
Yeah.
right? And considering the size of the data and let's say the information that our public sector, our government sector processes or works upon, uh, is Coredge also helping enterprises and government organizations address these emerging requirements about data sovereignty?
Yes, absolutely. So our customer, as of today, span across large enterprises, government departments, PSUs as well, right, and even telcos. See, if you consider that way, most enterprises or the government departments as of today are very much dependent on specific solutions. Let it be, if you look at the reality market, right, most of our customers as of today are in hands of their OEMs, right,
That's right.
which is controlled by other uh, country, let's say, which is not here within the same country. Now you consider you know what happened last year with the acquisition of VMware. Things changed dramatically, right? All the contracts, whatever was people's understanding, that changed overnight.
Right.
Now, as a Coredge, we are helping out our customers, right, to have this control, adopt to the open standards, not be very specific to one specific OEM, which will move towards the vendor lock-in, but adopt open standards. So tomorrow, if you want to look at another solutions, you want to build something on top, go ahead and do it, because you are not buying technology for today.
Right.
You are building cloud for futures, right? So you need to be open towards all of these standards. You need to be open towards the technology which you are adopting, and you need to be looking at, okay, how I can migrate from vendor lock-in position to open standards.
Yeah.
That way, it will help you not only a faster adoption, right, but also uh, driving the latest and greatest technology adoption within the market space, right?
Agreed.
So as of today, we are helping multiple telcos or even government departments to move from the vendor lock-in specific scenarios to move towards the open standards, right? Where community standards, be it OpenStack or Kubernetes, adopt to those. Your applications can also be migrated. That gives you leverage over
Absolutely.
any vendor lock-in. So that is how we are helping them as of today.
And let's jump to the hot topic of today, these times, which is the artificial intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Nobody can really stay away from it. So the way it is reshaping industries at a very unprecedented rate, how do you see AI changing future of cloud infrastructure and at the same time creating opportunities for companies like Coredge? What do you think about that?
Yeah, certainly AI is changing the game, I would say, right? Uh, However, when people look at AI, they look at it as more of a standalone activity,
That's
right?
correct. Yeah.
This is because I would say within India we are still in early stages, right? We have both perspective where governments are defining the path for our data privacy as well as our AI adoption.
Right.
Now, most government departments or telcos, right, they're looking at very specific scenario how they can start adopting or creating models. Our position is slightly different on it. So the way we are thinking, in order to build your AI infrastructure, right, before you start building the AI applications, you need to build the AI infrastructure for you.
Correct.
And AI infrastructure is not standalone. You still need the general purpose applications and general purpose cloud along with the AI cloud infrastructure. It has to run hand in hand. So Coredge as a company, we have a unified view where you should be able to create general purpose infrastructure as well as your AI infrastructure to execute your applications. Focus primarily on developing these applications rather than focusing on developing isolated islands of AI infrastructure, general purpose infrastructure which do not talk to each other. Those the boundaries we want to break, right? And we are helping our customers to have both traditional world of virtual machines, bare metal servers, GPU infrastructure, and Kubernetes clusters and containers on a single unified plane. That helps our customers to focus on business logic, developing applications, not on how to maintain them,
Maintain the infra.
how to handle all these different islands of different technologies.
Right. That was actually going to be my next question as well. That right now many people and enterprise, they are focusing on AI applications, just the AI applications, but not enough attention is being given to the infrastructure that goes behind it, right? So, and again, I was going to ask about the importance that you feel about the relationship between, let's say, an AI infrastructure and a cloud infrastructure, how they need to go hand in hand, which you just mentioned. But yeah, uh, how do you think that it's going to be very important for any enterprise to focus on this if they really want to lead in the AI era? So how do you suggest on that?
Yeah. So if you look at that perspective, right, most enterprises who are developing AI applications, right. So AI. So when you look at the AI applications, one is the training perspective, another is the inferencing perspective, and the third and foremost is how the developers interact with the GPU clusters, right. But at the same time, the moment, so as a journey, you start with the AI developers who can actually start developing your models or train them, right? Then you move towards GPU cluster training, right? And the third stage is inferencing. The moment you start at the inferencing layer, right? You also need to have the capability for your existing application who is going to consume the inferencing as a service, right? Now, if that infrastructure or application is sitting somewhere else, you cannot have the critical data moving across
Exactly.
different infrastructures, across different data centers, right? And consider your AI developers, right, or the people who are doing the training of AI models, right? They still need to be aware of their where is the data sitting. You need to ensure that the general purpose cloud where your data is sitting is accessible to your AI models, is available for the inferencing server to take decisions at the right time, right? As well as from the developer's perspective or from the maintenance, for CIOs or the people who are the decision makers, right? They need to maintain a single end-to-end solution instead of looking or talking to different, different maintenance
Different vendors,
contract,
OEM
different life
partners.
cycle of the
Yep.
cloud,
Yep.
different application cycles. That becomes a huge nightmare over the time,
Correct.
right? So you must have the single unified view of your large infrastructure where you can focus primarily on the applications rather than handling or helping out the different islands.
That's correct. That's correct. That's validly taken as well. Now let's try and understand a little bit more about Coredge, right? Now, any company that becomes successful, culture plays a very important role in that.
Yes.
Now, how do you have worked to build this kind of a culture of, let's say, innovation, ownership, or continuous learning within Coredge? How that has really been built upon within the company?
Yeah. And that's one of the biggest challenge, to be very honest,
Indeed,
right?
indeed.
Because when it comes to building this culture, right? Uh, I myself have been doing for quite long time, right? And I tell to every new joinee as well, right? You need to identify when you go home from your office time, right? You need to have something new in your hand. It's a new learning, it's a new topic which you have understood, right? That should give you a satisfaction that I have learned something new today. You should maintain it somewhere,
Yeah.
whether you maintain a physical diary, digital diary, doesn't matter. What matters is that when you go home from your office, you should have something new learned for tomorrow. And that is what we are thriving within the organization, right? Curiosity and ownership. Those two are actually driving our workforce, right?
Nice.
We are helping out our workforce to have that curiosity how things work, whether it is open source, whether it is proprietary, or have the new solution they would like to have, right? As a consumer first before I sell to my customers, right?
Correct. Correct.
So that curiosity we are driving within the organization. Everybody who is being hired is also one of the factor when we are looking at whether or not are you looking at the things at only 30,000 feet, or you are ready to go and do your hands dirty within the
At the
system,
ground level as well.
and on top of it own it when things do not go right. I think that's one of the most
Important.
important aspect, right? And this happens especially if you are not owning the system, right? If you are not owning any particular problem, then you may not be able to learn what is the solution for
Correct.
it. So I think these two characteristics are driving our workforce and helping us out to build new products.
Excellent. I think beautiful as well as very precise. not using very heavy jargons, but keeping it very clear.
Yeah.
Great. Let's take the tone of morale building a little higher. Now, beyond products, platforms, business growth, what legacy would you like Ashok Kumar and Coredge personally you would want to leave behind for the, let's say, the upcoming race of generations, entrepreneurs, for them? What would that be?
To be honest, that's a difficult question.
Now we are talking
Because
60,000 feet.
yeah, absolutely. And from my perspective, I would really prefer to give something for upcoming generations, which they can feel proud that this is now built and owned by India, instead of primarily relying on something else. So just like as of today, if you talk about NPCI, right, UPI
Yeah,
infrastructure, India has been great, and this is
it's been
one
a
of its
global
kind in
story.
the global story, right?
Absolutely.
So I think we really want to focus and give to our next generation something like that, which they can say, yes, this is built by Indians and control, exported across,
Right,
as our
right.
Prime Minister also says, right? Built for India, built for world.
Excellent, inspiring. So Ashok, what one leadership lesson for you would be in your journey that has stayed with you throughout your career?
Ownership,
Okay.
because that's the only thing which will differentiate you from most of the people, right, and help you grow
Agreed.
in your career.
Okay. And was there a moment in your entrepreneurial journey? I know it's been a long one as well, when you really doubted the path forward. That moment of doubt which asked you to take that leap of faith.
Yeah, there are multiple, I would say.
Multiple ones.
Yeah, because it's a journey and it's not always smooth.
Right. Right.
And this is, I think, when you are moving into the entrepreneurial space, I think you should be expecting this, right? Uh, However, what is most important is that you need to keep patience and have confidence in your abilities
Correct.
wh- to deliver things, right? And as I said earlier, right, as long as for single most aspect for me is the ownership of things which you have built, right? That is the only thing which will help you in difficult times, and make sure that you have the confidence within yourself, and even though you may need certain help from outside sometimes,
Absolutely.
that is the one thing which is going to keep you sane when things are not
Correct.
working as per expectations.
Okay. Very well taken. Okay. Before we move towards the next session, the next section, which is the rapid fire round. Now, if you could change one thing about the India's technological ecosystem today, what would that be?
I would say, probably government building the innovation labs for
Okay.
the technology entrepreneurs, because if we have the right ecosystem, I think we have the greatest mind pool available in India.
Absolutely. No doubt.
So it's just a matter of how we can actually enhance and how we can consume it
Yeah.
within India.
Giving them that kind of an ecosystem.
Yes, absolutely.
Very sweet. And I think very much on point as well. Great, Ashok. That has been a great discussion. Let's just move to a more interesting section, which is the rapid fire round.
Sure.
That really brings the personality out for any speaker, right? I just have some questions. Just take like either a one word or a one sentence, right? Not more than that. To put your answer on that. Okay. Now, one word that defines leadership for you.
Ownership.
Ownership.
Yeah.
One technology that will define the next decade.
Uh, AI cloud.
AI
Sovereign
cloud.
AI cloud. Yes.
Okay. Very precise. A book every entrepreneur should read.
There are multiple, but I would say 0 to 1.
Oh,
That's my favorite.
that's a really interesting one. The best career advice you have ever received.
Or let's say you have to own the failure, and that's the only thing which I have learned across.
Great. I think right to the point. Cloud or AI, or both of them together.
I would say AI cloud infrastructure, because they have to go hand in hand.
Exactly. Next one. I know the answer for this, but build or buy?
For core infrastructure or the core product, it should always be built.
Okay.
And for context or anything on top, you can have the buy option.
Okay. Very practical. One leader that you admire the most?
Sridhar Vembu.
Oh, very nice. A coffee or a late night brainstorming?
Say late night brainstorming with a coffee.
With a coffee. That goes better. One thing that people don't know about Ashok Kumar?
uh, yeah, I've been preached in my earlier journey, I would say during my teenage years.
Oh, really?
That's something which very less people knows about me.
That's great. Let's try and curate another discussion on that as well.
Sure.
Okay, Ashok, it has been a great discussion. It was really great knowing Coredge as well from your perspective, right? And how you and the company, as a whole, as an entity, thinks about the India's technological, space, and how do you feel that the digital sovereignty, how important it is, right? Before I really conclude the discussion, if there is one message you would like to give to today's entrepreneur, innovators, or any future technology leader watching this episode to remember, or what would that be? What message you'd like to convey?
Sure. So as of today, India is sitting on a data gold mine, right? And the way our government as of today is pushing for localization as well as the AI adoption, I think this is a very very good time for new generation to start looking at how we can start building things here within India. And as of today, government is very supportive on for new startups,
Yeah.
right? So this is the best time to start something your own. Even if you think the problem is small or bigger, that doesn't matter. It's just a one-step journey which you need to start, and the solutions will fall in line.
That's beautiful. Also, Ashok, how's Coredge helping enterprises and government organizations addresses these emerging requirements around data sovereignty, compliance, and digital independence? So, how's Coredge is really helping this sector as well?
Sure. So, if you look at the Indian market as of today, right, majority enterprises, government department, PSUs are facing a major challenge, which is vendor lock-in,
Right.
right? Which is blocking them in adopting to the new open source technologies, or let's say open standards, right? So we as a Coredge, right, working out with various enterprises, PSUs, government departments to move from vendor lock-in, right, to open standards, bringing them from VMware based installation or infrastructure to OpenStack and Kubernetes. As a Coredge, we have our own OpenStack certified distribution,
Okay.
and we are proud to be also one of the first India's CNCF certified Kubernetes distribution. Right now, that helps the existing enterprises to move from vendor lock-in to an open standards compliant OpenStack as well as Kubernetes, right? And that helps government departments as well not to be dependent on any third
Indeed.
party or anything for such kind of scenarios. Have the end-to-end infrastructure built within their own data centers in a complete air-gapped environment, where they can look at not only look at the technology, right, but also have the access to the engineering team available right next to them, right, whenever there are any issues. And for certain scenarios, one of our customers, right, they are moving quite large infrastructure from VMware to OpenStack, right, and Kubernetes. So we as a Coredge, right, as of today, working out with the provider to build one of the largest sovereign cloud within India, right, based on OpenStack, which is spanning across multiple regions, multiple data centers within India, right. Now that gives us confidence that yes, systems work perfectly fine,
Yeah.
and the migration story looks quite beautiful as well in terms of both finances as well as in terms of technology.
That's really going to be interesting for the upcoming time as well, where the confidence in the public sector and the system really needs to be there, right?
Absolutely, absolutely aligned with.
Okay, that brings us to the end of this podcast, Ashok. It was really great to have you with us today, and I think we really took some of very eye opening kind of an insights as well, and I'm sure these insights will be identified, will be acknowledged by the upcoming race of entrepreneurs as well, who are looking for opportunities in this space. And I'm sure they would be able to reach to you as well for some help, for some guidance, right?
Sure, looking forward. Sure, thank you.
Thank you, Ashok.